Hello my friends, it's Katty. I'm so happy to be here with you today on the Crafty Maven Getaway. First, this is our inspiration for this week, and this is a sketch that Tina and I will follow for today's layout. Be sure to check out Tina's layout as soon as you are done watching my video. For this Twerk It Thursday, I'm super happy to be following a sketch from the Sketch and Scrap blog. I'm actually a part of their design team, so they have some really great sketches. So I'll be putting the link to them below so you can check them out as well if you want to follow any of their sketches, because it's really nice and I love this sketch. So what I'm doing right now, I'm using watercolor paper in the background, and I'm actually going to create in the sketch there's sort of strips of different pattern papers in the back behind the photo. So I wanted to create that but using some mixed media. So I'm just taking this Tim Holtz stencil. This is a dot fade stencil. This has to be one of my favorite stencils that I own, and it's just really tiny dots, and it's some are smaller, some are bigger, but it's just tiny dots. So I'm taking some modeling paste and I'm just placing some of that over the stencil and just creating some texture on my page. As you can see there, it looks really cool. It's just to give the page a little bit of texture. And so what I'm going to do now, I'm just drawing it a bit with my heat tool, and then I'm going to take 4 different mists, and I'm going to create 4 different layers of color, or I shouldn't say layers, 4 different sort of they look like strips of color. So that teal color that I'm using is a Lindy Stamp Gang flat Fabio, and it's called Merci Beaucoup Mint. That's the color of that blue. And I will actually fill in the end. You don't see me do it, I do it off camera. I'm going to fill in just with the tip of my of the spray. I'm going to just kind of go over it a bit because it's a bit light, so I go over it a bit, and you don't see me do that on camera, but you will notice that in the still shots. The next color I use is also Lindy Stamp Gang. This is a Starburst spray from Lindy Stamp Gang, and that one is called A Bit of Bubbly. So that one is the second one that I use. And then I do kind of lift my page up so it can drip a little bit, just so it's not so perfect, because mixed media is meant to be fun, not perfect. And then I'm going to go to the top. I skip one and you'll see why in just a minute. And I use this pink, which is a Lindy Stamp Gang flat Fabio, and it's called Chateau Rose. Now the 4th color from the inspiration, because I went with the colors from the inspiration board because it was lovely. I used this gelato because I didn't have a mist in that particular color or that particular blue. So I used this gelato. This is the Faber-Castell gelato, and this one is called Elderberry, and it's the perfect blue for that mood board. So I just kind of drew on my little paint palette, and just put some water in it and just mix it up with a brush, and then I'm just going to color it onto my page. So I got that pretty blue color that I didn't have any mist. That's the great thing about all these products. You can kind of improvise as you go. If you don't have a mist, you can use a gelato or use watercolors or whatever you have, and it's a lot of fun to create your own backgrounds. I just think it adds it makes your album even more personal when you create your own background. Because pattern papers are awesome and but it's so fun to make your own. So I'm showing you the papers I'm going to be using, and I'm using the Dear Lizzie's Serendipity collection, as well as some extra papers that I'm taking, which are the brand is Nina, and I skipped because I didn't want you guys to have to sit there and watch me fussy cut those flowers from the Dear Lizzie's Serendipity collection. So that blue paper that you see there and the vellum is it's Nina is the brand, and I got it at Walmart, I believe. So those are 8.5 by 11 papers, and I'll be using those today as well. And then I'm taking this stencil. This is a Teresa Collins stencil. This is just a bunch of triangles, and I'm going to use the modeling paste again. And then I'm going to use this spray. This is actually the first time I use this spray, and it looks black, but it is actually gray. And that spray, I'll tell you the name of it. Oops, just knocked it off. Okay, it's called Smooch Spritz. And I've had that for a while. I don't even remember honestly where I got that, but it came in a pack with this gray and red. So I want to say I got that at maybe Big Lots, and they had like a big sale. But yeah, so I just wanted to add some triangles there because this sketch does have triangles, and the sketch triangles are bigger and they look like they'd probably be you know, made out of paper, but I made my own. So and this is my layout, so I'm doing it the way I want to. And then now this is my photo. It's a photo of my older niece, and I never scrapbook her because I don't have a ton of photos of her. So I have this photo of her when she was 15. She's just turned 22, so it's a, you know, it's a not a brand new photo, but I really wanted to scrapbook this photo. And one thing I also do, which you don't see me do on camera, that photo I printed. I actually I saved it on my iPhone, so I had used the mono filter, which made it black and white, but it was a little bit too dark. So what I did was I reprinted it in the tonal, T-O-N-A-L, in the tonal filter, and then that made it a little bit lighter and softer. So I made that change as well, which you don't see me do on camera, but you will notice in the still shots. It's just because she was wearing a dark shirt, so that photo kind of, when I, you know, my layout was so soft and you know, feminine and pretty, and then that shirt, you know, kind of stuck out like a sore thumb. So I just made it a little bit lighter with the tonal filter on my iPhone, and then I just reprinted that, and I just took the old one off and put the new one on. It was very simple to do. So here I go. I'm just layering some paper. First you saw me layer that Nina paper, the vellum polka dot, on top of that blue paper, which I call it like a periwinkle blue because that's what I think of when I see that color, periwinkle blue. So I think maybe I saw crayon once. That was the name of it. So I used that, and then I matted that on some dark gray cardstock. Then I matted that on that white with the pink polka dots from the Dear Lizzie Serendipity collection. And then I matted that on dark gray as well. And as you can see, the dark gray just makes it pop. Because if you had just matted it on those papers and not added anything behind it, it would still look pretty, but it just makes it pop, you know, a whole lot more. So that's what I like about using that dark gray, or black, but in this case I didn't want to use black. I thought black would be too harsh on these colors, so the dark gray works just perfect for me. So I'm taking some more of that vellum polka dot paper, and I'm going to use that to start creating my little sort of banners or flags in the background. And I used a piece of from the same collection, Dear Lizzie Serendipity, that teal paper that has the triangles in white and yellow. I used that to just sort of put a piece there because the sketch has that. And then now I just took those little strips that I cut off from the banner of the vellum, and I'm just putting it over that blue paper, that periwinkle blue paper, and I'm just making some photo corners. And I just put one on the top left and the bottom right, which I'm sorry, the bottom right is difficult to see. I don't realize that I need to move my iPad down a tad so you guys can see the bottom. So I'm just adhering that, and I cut it in half because it wasn't going to be as long as I wanted it to be if I had just stuck it down there. So then I stuck the photos behind my picture because those photos, since they were a part of a 12 by 12 sheet that I cut out, I fussy cut them out, there were some imperfections, you know, some of the edges that were kind of you know, mixed with other flowers or whatever that I had to cut off. So I kind of put the two flowers together, and then I hid the little imperfections behind my photo so you don't see them and you never notice that they're there. I'm taking another piece of paper from the same collection from the Dear Lizzie Serendipity, and it's that pink paper, and I created another banner with that one. And then I'm using some pop dots to pop up those flowers just to give them a little bit of dimension. And I take a pop dot and I cut it in half, and then I put one half on the top and one half on the bottom so I can make that vellum little flag pop up a little bit more, just to give it some dimension, some texture, some fun. And then I'm using some mist. I'm using the pink on the bottom, and then I'm going to use the teal on the top, just because my stripes were you know, had I had teal at the bottom, so I used it on the top, and then I had pink on the top, so I used the pink on the bottom. And then I'm going through my wood veneer, and I'm thinking I want to use that as my title. So I pull out this smile and a hashtag. So my title is hashtag smile. And I did that because she's on her phone and she's using one of those Sidekick phones, and that was like the cool thing back then. So I use that. And then you just saw me right now just filling in that yellow color with my with the tip of my spray bottle, because it just was kind of missing a bit of color there. And then I'm coloring the smile, and the smile you can see is broken. That smile broke, so I have to kind of glue it back together, but it still works. And then what I did was, because the bit of bubbly from Lindy Stamp Gang was a little bit light and it wasn't really showing up on the wood, I grabbed my Heidi Swap Color Shine in mustard, and that color, once I put it on the wood, it matched the yellow I was using in my layout perfectly. If I try to put the mustard on the paper itself, it would probably be too dark. But on the wood, because it does kind of seep in a bit, and because, you know, it does kind of blend in with the wood, it's the perfect shade, so it matches the yellow I'm using perfectly. Then I had this idea. I had these sitting on my desk. If you guys watch my channel, I have a series going on now. It's called Think Outside the Box, just showing you guys how to use things in different ways. And this is one of them. These are actually toilet paper rolls that I cut up in thin strips. And I was thinking of using that and making like a flower, but I completely just erase that. I didn't do that. It was just a thought. I had them sitting there, so I just kind of placed them. And you know what? They would have looked cute, but I didn't think it went, you know, with this particular layout. I could have made it go, but could have painted them as well, but I just wanted to, I didn't want to add that up there. So there I go. I'm just going down my hashtag smile, which is my title, and then I'm painting the little potty person, the girl, in pink. And then I'm gonna glue her next to the hashtag, and then I will remove her because I didn't like it there. I decided I didn't like it and I didn't want it there, so I glued it, and then I had to take it off. And then it kind of lifted up my flower a little bit, the paper, so I had to kind of color in my flower on that edge just to kind of hide that, but it's okay, nothing happened. So here I go again with these things. I was determined to use them, but I finally decided no, I'm not going to use them, not on this layout. So I take them off, and you're going to see me, they're going to be gone in just a second. There you go, they're gone. So what I did was I took some of this, this is a pack of trim from Michael's, and it was in like their $1.50 bin, and I have yellow and I have that teal color, so I'm thinking of how I want to use those. I took some of this kitchen like twine that I had from my mom, and I painted it with a bit of bubbly, which is that yellow color, and then I painted it with the pink, which is the Chateau Rose. So I painted those, and then I'm just kind of bunching them up and placing them on the bottom, and that's just to add some texture and some more fun. It's always fun to do that, to add some twine, and you can color it with any mist or anything you have. And then I'm using that same periwinkle blue paper to add some more, another little flag back there, because I thought it needed something else back there. And then I'm trying to decide where I want my potty person and how I want to stick down these pieces of twine or string, or I don't even know what it is. It was, like I said, it was in my mom's kitchen, so I don't even know where she got it from. So I decided to go with that. I decided to place that teal up there, just because I kind of felt like it needed something else up there. I thought about doing another layer of color, you know, with the stencil, but I thought this worked out just fine. I like that ribbon up there. And then that's kind of why I went back and I made the teal in the bottom a little bit darker afterwards. Just go with the same color, I just went over it a little bit more, just to make it a little bit darker, to kind of match that ribbon a little bit more. So, okay, now I cut another banner, another little flag banner in the vellum, and I place that down there. And then that's the last layer of that I'm going to do down there. but I just felt like it needed a little something else. It's just that periwinkle color, it just kind of stands out a little bit, so the vellum just kind of softens it up a bit. So that's why I use that, just to soften that up a little bit. And it does help, so. And then now I'm taking the 4 colors. I'm taking the vellum, that pink that I use in the little banners, the periwinkle blue, as well as the teal blue triangle paper. I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna make 4 little banners, and I'm gonna put them up there where you see that I'm placing them now. And that's just because I felt like it needed something up there. It was just kind of that's why I was thinking of doing the toilet paper flowers, because I wanted something up there, but I thought this was fine. So I just took the 4 of them and I just cut them up, and then all I did was use my tiny attacher to attach that down to that. And you're gonna see me, I'm just cutting a piece of that pink one right now, which I'm gonna add behind my little flags. There you go. So I like that, and I just used my tiny attacher, and then I just cut off the top. There was a little excess on the top, and I cut that off. And then I take a piece of, I glued down my potty person, and then I decided to take a piece of that same yellow ribbon that I used the teal one, but I got the yellow one, and I cut it in half, so I glued half on top, which you'll see in a minute, and the other half I'm gonna glue underneath the smile. There you go. And then I glue my potty person, and then that covered my little staple for my tiny attacher, so that all worked out. And then I glue that underneath the smile. And then the only other thing you won't see me do on camera is I'm going to stamp the date on a piece of vellum and then put some of that periwinkle blue behind it, so you won't see me do that on camera. But that's about it. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for watching this video, taking the time to watch the Crafty Maven Getaway channel. Be sure to check out Tina's video as well, because she's following the same sketch. Check out my YouTube channel, which I will put a link to below, so you guys can check me out, and I will hopefully see you guys very soon. I'll be back next month for another video with you guys. Thank you and have a great day.